questions about the proposed plan for peace in the Middle East. President Trump is expected to travel to Egypt for an official signing of the ceasefire and an address to members of Israel's parliament. But this is just phase one of a 20-point plan. Uncertainties remain over Hamas weapons and future governors. Now, I am joined now by Dr. Glen Duerr, the chair of the History and Government Department at Cedarville University. Dr. Duerr, as always, thanks for joining us. This peace deal is being widely welcomed by international leaders. What is the immediate impact that's having on these war-torn communities?
Well, it's certainly optimistic because it is a new opportunity to push for peace. But as you mentioned, it just went into action. And the next 72 hours will be pivotal because Israel wants all 20 alive hostages to return, as well as the remains of deceased hostages to come back as well. But Israel's also releasing from its prison system and from the IDF 1,722 prisoners and terrorists. And so that's going to be a very significant switchback. And the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is withdrawing from about 70% of Gaza's territory, including Khan Yunis in the south and Gaza City in the north, really out of the major urban areas. There are still a lot of spoilers that could impact all of this, including the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, who is another terrorist organization. How they get along with Hamas is a big question, but the signs are promising at this moment.
Well, President Trump is traveling to the Middle East. What is he expected to say to Israeli leaders while he's there?
It's going to be key because Israel went through 5 elections in about 4 years between 2019 and 2023. And Netanyahu, while the longest serving Israeli prime minister, has a very unstable coalition. There are members of the coalition that do not like the 20-point plan. But President Trump's job will really be to convince them to stay on target because this is a mechanism to end this 2+ year war with Gaza.
Now, there is more to this deal than what's happening right now. What uncertainty is still swirling around this peace plan?
There are a lot of additional pieces, including putting in place what's called a technocratic government. That is, people with expertise in economics and politics, but it would give Gaza a new government. It's been with Hamas in place, a terrorist organization, since 2006. And so finding new people to run it is going to be key. President Trump is also overseeing a large committee, which includes the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who has a massive amount of experience in the Middle East. But all of this is required in the forthcoming months to stabilize, normalize Gaza, and to then try and implement a normal government that's got no ties to terrorism and respects Israel's right to exist.
Well, I'll wrap it up with this. What are the next steps, and should we expect an actual end to this war?
It's hard to say because there are a lot of spoilers that are there, but I think Hamas generally is very tired. They do have the ability to go to other countries without being incarcerated, so it's very enticing in that regard. Israel is also desperate to get those 20 hostages back. That's going to be the key immediately, simply because the families want to get their loved ones back, and then the IDF gradually withdrawing from the territory, but making sure that it remains stable with an incoming international force. All of those are big questions, but at the same time, there's a lot of movement on the Arab street among Qatar, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, among others, for something much more peaceful.
Dr. Glen Duerr, the chair of the History and Government Department at Cedarville University. As always, we thank you for joining us this afternoon.
My pleasure.